So I call it the Soul Rich Woman Blueprint. Literally, it's a magic wand. So think about fairy godmother, okay, in the Cinderella story, where fairy godmother takes out a magic wand and waves at Cinderella, and Cinderella becomes this beautiful princess. Now, if that magic wand is in your hands right now, not in fairy godmother's hand, not in Prince Charming's hand, it's in your hand right now, what would you do with it?
Hello and welcome to the Daily Helping with Dr. Richard Schuster. Food for the brain, knowledge from the experts, tools to win at life. I'm your host, Dr. Richard. Whoever you are, wherever you're from, and whatever you do, this is the show that is going to help you become the best version of yourself. Each episode, you will hear from some of the most amazing, talented, and successful people on the planet who followed their passions and strive to help others. Join our movement to get 1 million people each day to commit acts of kindness for others. Together, we're going to make the world a better place. Are you ready? Because it's time for your Daily Helping. Thanks for tuning into this episode of the Daily Helping Podcast. I'm your host, Dr. Richard, and I am overjoyed to bring you an amazing guest today. Genecia Alluora is a former Miss Singapore, cafe retail chain owner in Southeast Asia, Woman of Excellence, as well as the International Progressive Woman 2019. She's the founder of Soul Rich Woman, the #1 female entrepreneur network in Southeast Asia that connects more than 200,000 women across the region in the Soul F membership program. For the past 17 years, Genecia has coached celebrities, CEOs, and politicians to be seen as a leader on stage. Today, with the Soul Rich Woman Blueprint and the SWR Academy, she mentors thousands of women to bring their business and leadership brand online. Her vision is to support 1 million women to own and love the F word. I can't wait to ask about that. Profiled in CNBC, Forbes, and China Daily, Genecia is a thought leader and leading women's empowerment expert. She's regularly invited to speak on TV and radio, as well as in conferences, and has shared the stage with great minds like Gary Vaynerchuk, Mary Buffett, Kim Kiyosaki, and Neil Patel. Genecia, this is going to be so much fun. Welcome to the Daily Helping. It's great to have you here.
Thank you, Dr. Richard. Thank you very much for having me on your show.
Absolutely. So, as you know, I'm so interested in people's whys and how they got started doing what they do. What was it on your journey that really started you to become an entrepreneur, and when did that happen?
Well, now I run a female entrepreneur network. And before all these happened, it was because of my mom, right? The reason why I'm still doing this legacy business is because of my mom. She's still a role model in the community. She is my big why. She's always been my source of inspiration, even up to today. Now, when I was 14 years old, I was working and supporting myself through school. It was really tough. And because I wasn't able to buy new clothes, new shoes regularly, I was wearing all the hand-me-downs, carrying all the hand-me-down bags as well. I was often being bullied in school. So throughout my teenage years, it's not an easy journey. And that was when my mom pawned her gold and sent me for instructor certifications. She sent me for aerobics, yoga, and line dancing certification. So I became an instructor. And my first taste of entrepreneurship is when I knew I was studying and mugging for my exams, and I had to make more with less, which means within an hour, how can I make more with less? If not, I have to teach every day, Mondays to Sundays, literally paying for tuition fees, my book fees, and my food and my transportation. So it was really difficult. So I decided to put a group of instructors together, teaching yoga, aerobics, line dancing, and supply them to events for corporate organizations. And within a single hour, I was able to make more. So that was my first taste of entrepreneurship. And on that journey, that led me to the next one, which I went on to join Miss Singapore, where my friends enrolled me because they believed in me, which I couldn't see what was within me because of my low self-esteem. I was constantly bullied in school, and I almost wanted to commit suicide. But I'm so glad my mom saved me. And that is why moving the needle forward again, That's why I want to shortcut women's success. I want to help them to be seen as a leader online, to bring their brand online, to bring their F word, which means being fabulous, having freedom, financial independence, and happy family. This is my journey in a nutshell. And of course, in between, I started a cafe retail chain. We went to 3 countries. We have 18 franchisees and licensees. And after 4 years, we exited to a public listed company owner. I have no business experience, zero. I'm an occupational therapist by profession in the medical healthcare industry. So moving from that space to a business space, it was really crazy. A lot of people think it's not possible. I can't learn new skills. I don't know how to do it. You know what? Get a mentor. And because I got a mentor in 2012, by the time I hit 2013, in 2013, I made $100,000 in 3 months and $1 million within a single year. So that's how I transformed my entire blueprint of being in the medical healthcare industry to a business industry.
So interesting. You mentioned that you had a mentor, and so many people that I've interviewed attribute a large part of their success to that. So in addition to the mentoring, what were some of the lessons you learned in transitioning from one career path to another? Because so many people who want to become entrepreneurs think, well, I want to do something totally different, but I don't have any experience in that. So what lessons could you share that you learned?
Well, you need first to be willing to learn. That means explore. Don't stay stagnant and filter to the max. A lot of people, they just decide, oh, I don't want to learn about digital marketing. I hate SEO, or I don't like coaching. I want to do something else. I want to do a product. And they are so focused in a tunnel vision that they are not open to explore. Sometimes exploring and knowing your passions allow you to have a diverse perspective of what is in front of you. Take, for example, if you look at a cup right now with a handle, but you're looking at the front of the cup and you can't see where's the handle. But the other person over the other side looking at the handle will be able to see the handle of the cup and not at your side. So take a different perspective. So be willing to learn and take a perspective. It's that you must be coachable. Now, why do I say that? Because even you can get a mentor, if you just want the mentor to swim for you to win an Olympic gold, it's not possible. You have to jump into the pool to swim. You have to do the work to make it happen.
I love this. And I want to go back to number 1, because perspective, I think, isn't enough. And you teased passion. Because I think to be successful in something, really next level successful, you have to absolutely love that. You can have a job and you could do well at that task, but to love what you do will enable you to not only suffer through the hard times because you believe in it, but when times are great, to really thrive. So was that the case for you? As you started doing this work, you discovered, because you were an occupational therapist at the time, you started discovering, man, I really love this. This is life-changing.
I think the taste of entrepreneurship has already been seeded within me. So that kind of got the engine going when I moved out of my occupational therapy profession into being a business owner or an entrepreneur. I think the other trigger I would say is being able to look into doing something that you're really uncomfortable. By going into a zone of uncomfortableness allowed me to grow. And I was willing to go there because I could stay in my skill set of being an occupational therapist or an image consultant and be trading time for money. I could do that because it's easy. I close my eyes. I could just literally get things done without much, thinking, right? Because after a while, you know the inside out, you know the A to Z of everything. So to move out of my comfort zone was key to my success, even up to today.
I've heard so many people say that if you did something that just pushes the boundary of your comfort zone every day, you're going to continue to grow it. So good advice to be sure. So I'm kind of glad that the F word wasn't what I thought it was, because now I don't have to label this episode as explicit content. But let's talk about the fabulous and freedom and finances and the family. When did you come up with that? Because that's so interesting.
Yeah, because I find that even though we are running a female entrepreneur network, is about helping women and teaching women to make money online. It's never just about the money part, because after mentoring thousands and thousands of women, I realized there are few things that they look out for, and the why, the big why that we always look out for. So fabulous, some of them make money, and then after they achieve their financial independence, they want to look fabulous. They use that to move into the fabulous, and they want to feel more confident about who they are. Some of them want to have financial independence, and then they want to have a family that can, buy extra clothes for their kids. They want to bring kids on a holiday, eat at a good restaurant. So there are different whys to why a woman would do a business or would want to bring their brand online. So that's how I distilled the F word. And of course, it's not the 4F word or the 5F word, whatever the F word that you are thinking right now. Well, it's not. It's just a pun for us for easy for people to relate to and say, hey, do you want an F word? What is your F word? Are you a fabulous? Do you want a happy family? Do you want financial independence? Do you want freedom? That in itself is catchy because online space is really crowded right now. And if you are not catching attention, then how are you going to bring in the people to notice you, to know, like, and trust you even before they buy from you?
Makes total sense. So what year did you establish Soul Rich Women? When did that officially begin?
In 2015.
Okay.
In 2015.
And as you built this, and a lot of people thinking about, well, how do I build an online business, or thinking about online communities, which you have created, what would be the biggest lesson that you've learned in building an online community?
Start from zero and learn from your mistake. Well, when I first started, I must say, Dr. Richard, is that I started from nothing. I was based in Indonesia before that, and I was running my cafe retail chain operations, right, and franchise. So I just felt that cafe retail chain, even though in the business side, it was training me, it wasn't good for my soul. I just felt something was missing. So at night, I would turn on my webcam and internet, and with my microphone, I will run and teach webinars every single Wednesday. It's called Webinar Wednesday. And at 9 p.m. sharp, I will run the webinar every single week for an entire year. I will be there for an hour or 2 hours. And then I learned with 0 viewers, 0 followers, and nobody watching, to the sound of the crickets. I was like, okay, how am I going to build this community? How am I going to build this network? And learn to be consistent. I think a lot of people, when they want to build a network, after 2 weeks of posting or 2 weeks of webinars or 2 weeks of live streaming or 2 weeks of podcasting, they're like, oh, I'm done, because nobody listens to me. Nobody's watching, 0 viewers, and I'm failing. But hey, before we were all masters of disasters. So turn your mess into a message and really shout out loud online.
Hey guys, Dr. Richard here. For the past 7 years, I've been privileged to bring you incredible guests who are changing the world and can help you become the best version of yourself. I'm really excited to share with you a new quiz that I created based on my clinical training that will curate for you a custom list of my top episodes and actionable strategies to help you wherever you are on your journey. All you need to do is go to drrichardschuster.com to take it, and it's 100% free. You'll be taking the next step on the journey to unlocking the power of you, and I can't wait to see where you'll go.
It makes a lot of sense. I think I read a statistics that the average podcast, the host will quit after 8 episodes.
Really?
Yep. So,
wow.
So your message is stay the course. Stay the course. Makes a lot of sense for sure. So one of the things that we're very excited about, I know, is you've got a book coming out this week. And tell us the title of the book, and then tell us why you decided to write it.
Well, my book is titled Make It Happen. Ways to go from stuck to unstoppable without changing who you are. This is my second book, and it's all about ways you can turn, your skills, your passions, and your talents, and brand yourself online. So this is, in a nutshell, what it's going to be about.
And what was your impetus for writing that?
Well, the reason for me to build that is because I found that a lot of women, individuals, are often stuck in building on brand because they wear multiple hats. They're a mother, a sister, a wife. They have so many roles that they don't even know where to begin. And even with talents and passions and skill sets, they don't even know which one to pick up or choose to even start. So from a space of overwhelm is not what we are, focusing on. So I want to take people out of this overwhelm and over information age. From that space, bring them out with a system and process to take them through a step-by-step journey, step-by-step process where they can learn to recognize their skills, their passion, and turn it into a paycheck, and then brand themselves online so that they can monetize their knowledge.
I want to talk about that systemized process you've developed in a minute, but I think there's something interesting. You could have called the book Make It Happen, Go From Stuck to Unstoppable, but you added this extra piece without changing yourself. Talk to us about that.
Yeah, because a lot of people, when we coach them and guide them, they always say, oh, I'm an introvert. I don't like to talk to cameras. I hate this. I don't like that. I'm a secret agent online. Doesn't mean that when I post on social media, I'm changing who I am. Doesn't mean that when I launch a podcast, I have to turn into the entertainment host. So we are addressing all these concerns that people have. They are just stuck in that mindset. So we want to break that belief, that misconception that, you don't have to be different. You just need to be upgrading your skill set so that you can present the inner part of you, the wisdom within you, so that people can see what you're really good at to monetize yourself and to, of course, brand yourself online.
So take us through that system that you've developed.
Okay, so I call it the Soul Rich Woman Blueprint. Literally, it's a magic wand. So think about Fairy Godmother, okay, in the Cinderella story, where Fairy Godmother takes out a magic wand and waves at Cinderella, and Cinderella becomes this beautiful princess. Now, if that magic wand is in your hands right now, not in Fairy Godmother's hand, not in Prince Charming's hand, it's in your hand right now, what would you do with it? So the star signifies you becoming that star, you shining through. And building that star, that means you have the glow. When you have the glow, people will recognize you, people will see you. It's like telling the people where to look. And then later on, building systems and processes, for example, like funnels, and then generating leads from there. The key thing here is based on two principles or philosophies. First, don't need for you to chase after customers, because by being a star and having the glow, you can attract people to you. To build that know, like, trust score so that you no longer need to chase after customers, your leads and inquiries just keep coming in. Two, even though you can be the brightest star, but without a system and process in the back end, you will not have any leads or sales, because first, you do not nurture them. You don't have a database, where now database is king. Then it means that you only have a one-off success. So you could have the number of likes and shares on your social media, but you will not have the ability to nurture your database, to allow them to get to know you, then eventually buy from you. So that's what it is.
Fantastic. And so somebody might be listening to this saying, I understand or believe that it's really expensive to build up a social media following, and you have to hire people to do it, and you have to just really invest unbelievable amounts of time. And I'm a working parent and I can't balance that. So what would you respond to something like that?
Well, if you're a working parent and you are balancing between your kids, your work, and your own social media presence, I would say if you have $50 lying around, $50 if you do like spa, massages, you go for a haircut, you do stuff like that. There's $50 around. Just take $50 and hire 5 hours, outsource 5 hours of the task that you hate the most, which is like social media, for example, writing some post, all you need is just $50 to get started. Whether this $50 equates to 5 hours or just a couple of hours, just do it. Don't think that you can outsource, because just outsourcing with just $50 can get you started on your social media to build your brand presence and to get people to know and trust you in the online space. And the second thing you might want to do, if you're really hands-on, you want to DIY, build up a schedule. Like, for example, an hour a day. Just tell yourself, write one thing. It doesn't have to be perfect. Just know that you don't have to be perfect to show the world who you are. It's precisely in our imperfectness that allows people to see our vulnerable side. And when you tell people you have 3 kids, 4 kids, and you're managing your work and doing this at the same time, people will be impressed. Not because you have a perfect English, not because of a perfect photo, but because you're dedicated. You're consistent in the work that you are doing. So keep your consistency there. And people who know that will follow you, will love you, and respect you.
That's great advice. Let's talk a little bit, because I want to give some time to this. Talk about the SRW Academy.
Well, in the Soul Woman Academy, SRW Academy, it's a $12 a month membership. And in this academy, we have 2 masterclasses every single month where we talk about lead generation, Facebook ads. It came from a basis where we don't talk about a lot of information. We talk about structured learning step by step. So if you were to join for 12 months, for example, you will get like 24 pieces of video content to take you from A to Z to build your business online. And we have also other fringe classes where you can actually take them as well. What we call short classes you can take as well. Now, the key thing here is we really want to provide great value because of our market segment in Southeast Asia. The women don't earn like $5,000, $10,000. Sometimes it's not possible. Most of them are earning $300 a month to maybe $1,000 a month. So when we look at our target segment in Southeast Asia and the population that we are looking at, the women we want to work with and support them by giving them an easy access way where we make education not just accessible, but structured, because women don't need more information. They need implementation.
Makes perfect sense. And we're running low on time, but quickly tell us about your podcast as well. I wanted to make sure we mentioned that.
Well, I have 2 podcasts. One is for women who love the F word, where I do interviews. And some of the names that have been on my interviews are like Gary Vaynerchuk, Kim Kiyosaki, Jay Abraham, and many more. So I'm being very blessed. And this is all about female entrepreneurship and helping women to take different perspectives about life and going through obstacles and achieving victories, right? The other podcast is a micro podcast. It's an extension of the show. It's called Soul Why, SOUL, Soul Why. Why do you do what you do? So it's 10 minutes every single day, Mondays to Fridays. And I talk a lot about, your confidence and your personal branding and how do you, make money online. So that's my 2 podcasts. And right now we are listened and downloaded in 56 countries. And we just launched only less than a year. So I think the most important part is never just focus on the external factors. I would really ask you to really keep looking into consistency. And number 2, really look into the value that you are delivering so that the people who are listening over the other side will feel that they are of great content, that they would want to be a part of your tribe.
I love that. Genecia, I wish we had more time, but we are at our limit. But as you know, every time a guest comes on the show, I ask them this one question. What is your biggest helping, the single most important piece of information you'd like the audience to walk away with after hearing our conversation today?
The sky is the limit and there's no storm that you cannot conquer. Believe in yourself, step out of the comfort zone and go towards the dreams that you've always wanted to achieve. Alone, you are strong. Together, we are unstoppable.
I love it. Genecia, tell us where people can find you online.
You can connect with me on LinkedIn, Facebook, and Instagram at Genecia Alluora, GeneAlluora. And I have 2 gifts for you. First is Secrets of Personal Branding, my book. as well as how do you delegate 80% of your to-do list to your assistant so that you can make money online. And all these two tips are available at soulrichwoman.com, which is at soulrichwoman.com.
Fantastic. We'll have the links to everything Genecia Alluora in the show notes at thedailyhelping.com, as well as a link to where you can purchase her new book available this week. Make it happen. Go from stuck to unstoppable without changing yourself. Genecia, I have loved our discussion today. Thank you so much for coming on The Daily Helping.
Thank you, Dr. Richard.
And thank each and every one of you who chose to listen to this episode. If you like what you heard, go subscribe to us on Apple Podcasts and leave us a 5-star review, because that's what helps other people find the show. But most importantly, go out there today and do something nice for someone else, even if you don't know who they are, and post it in your social media feeds using the hashtag #MyDailyHelping, because the happiest people are those that help others.